Hey guys, Ed with Solomon's Landscape here. I want to take a few moments to do another video in regards to winter pruning or hard pruning. We are in end of January. I can't believe it's the end of January already. Oh my goodness, time flies. However, I was going to say this is a great time to go through your gardens and do some winter pruning or hard pruning. There are certain types of plants. And again, without knowing the type of plants that you have, I can't tell whether or not you need to prune it or not. But there's certain plants out there that do take well to hard pruning or winter pruning, and there are some plants that especially if they're getting it taller, possibly bring them down if they're able to handle that. The other good point of that is this time of year is great to do that because it's cooler. Things aren't growing, so there's less stress on the plant if you're going to do hard pruning. So some of the things for winter pruning or hard pruning are the grass plants. So things like daylilies, hostas, irises, things of that nature. If it hasn't been done by now, most of the leaves are dead and gone and passed away, so they may have already pruned themselves. If not, this is a great time to do that. Some other ones are liripe, mondo grass, if it's getting a little taller. Those kind of things would be a great time to do that. If the foliage is already dead, you just basically have to just pick it up, clean it up. If there's still, like in the grasses, like liripe is a perfect example. It's still green at this point. However, if you have a push mower with the bagger, just put that push mower at the highest setting and run over it. It'll do just fine. Another good one I'm actually looking over here is roses. Yes, they're dormant, although for some reason, I guess it didn't get cold enough this year because this one still has leaves on it, which is crazy. But yes, roses are a great time. You can hard prune those, cut those back fairly hard by half or more, as long as you have the main trunk. Another good one you see kind of in this corner here, that's a butterfly bush. That will do well with hard pruning. Again, you can go cut it in half or more, and so those are kind of things that you can do this time of year. Another one is if you have trees on your property, it's a great time to check to see if you have any lower hanging limbs or if any branches are dangling down. It's a little bit harder to tell if they're dead, but you can tell if you have a trained eye if it's dead wood or not. However, like I said, with the winter, no leaves, it's a little bit more difficult to tell if it is dead or not. But it is still a great time to prune that because you can actually see the entire structure of the tree. So, again, winter pruning or hard pruning is just preparing the plant for spring, for renewal growth. Some plants, if it was planted in the wrong place, potentially you could bring it farther down because of the fact that it wasn't planted in the wrong space. There wasn't consideration for the actual size of the plant, and so you might have to bring it down or hard prune it, for example. I think over here there's some Laura pedlums on this corner. It's hard to tell, but right there some Laura pedlums. They come in various sizes, and there's some that are getting really, really big. So that's possible candidate of hard pruning. Sometimes they are receptive to that. Sometimes they're not. So that one is kind of in the gray area. And another one that comes to mind is hollies. A lot of times hollies get planted in the wrong places, and so you have like maybe a holly up against your foundation of the house that's 10 foot tall. And just taking over. So potentially, hollies, you can cut those back pretty hard. You can cut them literally, if it's a 10-foot tall bush, you can cut it down to like 2 feet, and generally speaking, it'll come back. But generally, a lot of times you don't want to do a whole lot to those hollies, but sometimes it's necessary. This butterfly bush, I'm going to kind of move the camera a little bit here. Yeah, so you see that butterfly bush right behind me here. That's a good candidate for winter pruning, and typically it does winter prune. Now, it has its leaves again this winter, which I think sort of like the rose bush, it just hasn't got cold enough, which is highly unusual for our area. Normally these things do lose their leaves and are deciduous. So but again, you see how tall it is. It's up to the gutters there. So this is a candidate. Typically this one is winter pruned regardless. And so, you know, you see where it's at there. See if I can move this a little bit. Um, you know, see that's pretty tall. So we probably bring it up, you know, cut it back. I'll have the guys cut it back here pretty good. I would say at least more than halfway. So again, this is a great time to kind of look in your yard, see what needs to be pruned and what doesn't. If you're not sure, there's great resources on the internet. Clemson.edu, their the Home and Garden Information Center, HGIC, I think is what they call it. But that's a good resource. There's some of these other universities that have landscape type horticulture programs on their site. And I think Missouri Botanical Garden or Missouri Botanical Garden is another one, or Missouri State, I guess, is one. But they're out there. If not, you can always call us. We can definitely help you out as well. But just some of the things that you can do this time of year to get your property in shape for the springtime, because it's right around the corner. Talk to you there. Have a great day. If you have any questions, comments, drop them below.